Hello, my name is Auchettl from Conversations, and having been a teacher and worked in industry for 25 years, the biggest complaint I had from people is that no one listens to me. If only they would listen to me, they would understand just how great I was or what a great idea I had. And so it seems to me that the number one problem in terms of communication is not so much about what we say, although language is really important. The number one problem is that we are not really listening to each other. And so if someone's telling us something, so often we're filtering it through our own minds and quite often filtering about what we can say next. And that can often lead to a process where we're trying to create a bigger story. Someone tells us about a situation in their life and we say something like, "You think you had it bad, you should have seen what I did," and we automatically go into our own story. And the person really hasn't felt heard, and they haven't felt that their story is all that significant because we've downplayed it. So one of the ways I suggest that we start having a conversation with each other is to start by practicing listening to each other. And the way we can actively listen is that when someone is telling their story to us, that we're not trying to come up with a solution, we're not trying to come up with the next biggest story that I can then tell to come back to that. But all we're trying to do is to let the person know that we've listened to them. So there's a few tips I'm going to give you for that. The first, number one tip to listen is not to talk. Don't interject. Don't say, "I know what you mean, I had da-da-da-da." Now occasionally it's not a matter of sitting there like a robot. So the second thing is to give back some feedback that you actually have learned. So when they're speaking, you might say something like, "So what you're saying is," and then paraphrasing what they're saying. And that can serve two purposes. It can actually let them know that they're being listened to, but it can also help clarify for them that what they've said is like, "Oh, yeah, that is actually what I said," or "No, it's not quite what I mean, this is actually what I mean." And so in doing this process, you're actually helping the person formulate their own ideas and explain that even further. And then the third thing that you can do is once the person has finished speaking, is acknowledge what they've said and something like, "I really appreciate that you've shared that with me, because I can also apply for that in my own life, or I can relate to that." And that's when you may come in with a little bit of your story, but keep the focus, if possible, back onto them. And it will come back to you many-fold if you can do that. Just bring the emphasis back to the other person. So the biggest tip for today is to practice and to go out there and to practice listening to other people. And then you'll enjoy the process and you'll gather all this wisdom for yourself. I'm Auchettl from Conversations, the game. Looking forward to connecting with you next time. Thank you.